For years, skeptics dismissed UFO sightings as wild imagination, but this time, there's high-quality footage, captured repeatedly by a random security guard named Yalcin Yalman. What he saw, and more importantly, what the camera recorded, might just be the closest humanity has ever come to proving we're not alone. Between 2007 and 2009, a series of UFO sightings happened in the village of Kumburgaz near Istanbul, Turkey. The incidents astounded the media and UFO aficionados as photographers and videos of the encounters went viral on the internet. This man, Yalcin Yalman, a night watchman, caught a glimpse of one of the best proofs of UFOs in the world. This is no shaky cam, this is no 20 seconds of footage, and this is no blurry image of a blurry image. He captured hours upon hours of footage that truly showed that we are not alone. Now, I'm going to stop you right there. Yes, you, going into the comment section to write, "It has already been debunked." No, it hasn't. It was not what you think. And you will see that your debunk was debunked. Now, back to the story. The first time he captured a film of a UFO was in 2007. Yalcin Yalman was working as a night watchman at the Yalcin plant. He was just casually observing the night with his video camera when he noticed something different and weird. With his camera pointed at it, he zoomed in on it. And that's when he saw it. A UFO hovering above the Marmara Sea near Kumburgaz. He started filming it, and here's the crazy part. He had a month's full footage of the event. The 2007 video was filmed over multiple days, beginning on June 22nd and ending on August 24th. During that time, more round, disc, and oval-shaped craft were spotted and filmed maneuvering above the sea, occasionally changing direction. This is the video.
Havada çakan bir şey var biliyor musun? Gittiğimiz abi.
Dur.
Uçak mı?
Uçak değil o.
Ne yapıyormuş şimdi? Ama sabit duruyor.
That video is over 11 minutes long and covers June 22nd to August 24th. I'll leave the link to the video in the description below so you can go watch it. By the way, these were the details of the camera used. When Yalman released this video, it instantly went viral. It's not every day we get to see a UFO video that is 11 minutes long, spans weeks, and is also pretty convincing. Now, of course there were a lot of skeptics who didn't believe the video was real, and it sparked a heated debate. Yalman naturally stood by what he saw, no matter what people were saying. But people still called it a hoax. But as fate would have it, lightning was about to strike twice in the same place. In 2008, still working at the Yalcin plant, Yalman would almost every night set his camera to the sky, hoping that he would be able to capture another piece of footage of the friendly visitors again. As fate would have it, on May 27th, 2008, his prayer was answered, and he captured another sighting with his camera.
Tut sabit. Aynı öyle. Aynen. Bak tam ayın altında bu. Denize yakın. Aynı sıraya. Gir şuna zoom. Allah Allah. Nedir bu böyle? Ay nerede?
If you noticed, he moved the camera to the left to capture the moon, so that critics wouldn't say he's lying or he's seeing something else. He was basically showing the moon to also show the object was in the air and not in the sea, because most people thought he was having a case of fata morgana, which I will explain later in this video what that means. But Yalman is saying, well, I certainly didn't imagine the moon. Like you saw, that was just part 1 of 3 series. Part 2 and 3 are also like that.
Ne kadar parlak değil mi Salih?
Sana gir yüzüne gireceğim.
Sen görüyor musun?
Gördüm.
Nasıl bir şey bu ya? He?
Felaket.
Abi erken çıktılar. 2:20 geçiyor saat.
Saat belli olmaz ki ya.
That is part 2. But the bizarre occurrence didn't just stop there. The next month, on June 9th, 2008, a brilliant ball of orange-red plasma-type light is motionless in the sky for several minutes, leaving a bright reflection on the water's surface. 4 days later, on June 12th, 2008, another orange ball of light was spotted for the first time. Shortly later, the craft shown below is filmed. There appears to be horizontal movement, resulting in a shift in light and shadow across the structure. This went on for 4 whole months, with the last appearance being on the 31st of August of that year. After that, Yalman couldn't find them anymore throughout that year, so he naturally thought that was it, the end. But he was so wrong. Our friendly neighborhood visitors were not done visiting, and they were about to visit one more time. By now, Yalman is somewhat of a local UFO celebrity. Scratch that, he was a local celebrity, UFO or not, because even the government validated his claim. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Because of Yalman's footage, a lot of people were beginning to believe that we are not alone. Following a successful UFO conference near Istanbul in 2009, popular American surgeon and UFOologist Roger Lear and 7 to 8 other people became witnesses themselves as they saw a strange disc-shaped object hovering in the sky beneath a bright moon. Roger Lear personally witnessed Yalman filming the unusual item in the sky. So this is what happened. After the conference, Roger Lear and some group of people went to the spot where Yalman got the footage, thinking nothing of it, probably to investigate why Yalman was able to capture not just 1 but a dozen videos of the UFO ship that spanned months. What made that place special? Why was the UFO craft always coming to that same location? And also probably hoping it would show up for them to see. The crew stayed up to record any potential encounters. The weather was excellent, with clear skies and no impediments. Then, during filming, they noticed a brilliant object below the full moon that looked like a star. As they focused on this item, that's when they saw a semicircular craft with several lights shaped like a boomerang or a cylindrical saucer, just hovering in the air. That video is 6 minutes long, and here are some of the images gotten from it. Roger was certainly convinced that it was a UFO.
No me queda más que decir que estoy muy impresionado después de ver más ovnis aquí de los que he visto en los últimos 60 años. Es evidente que no solo existe algo aquí, sino que estos tienen una especie de afinidad al dejarse ser grabados y se han logrado obtener los mejores videos que he visto jamás en cualquier otro lado.
And the crazy thing is, unlike most UFO sightseeing, where it's mostly just one person seeing it, this event was witnessed by several locals. They also reported seeing disc and oval-shaped flying objects with a metallic look that moved silently, while occasionally accompanied by weird red and orange lights. Some of the witnesses resided in a neighboring housing complex, while others were curious passerbys and fishermen. So it wasn't just Yalman's testimony alone. He had testimonies of a lot of people. Some even came out to freely talk about their own abduction stories that happened in their life, but weirdly enough, in a positive light. Reyhan Karaca, a singer who represented Turkey in the Eurovision Song Contest in 1991, told Turkish reporters that a prawn-colored alien had pulled her from her bed one night and brought her on a whistle-stop tour of Earth. And according to her, they were very friendly. Hülya Avşar, a well-known Turkish pop singer and broadcaster, told Karaca and her talk show audience that she had also seen a UFO from her villa's balcony. So witnessing UFO events was almost a norm in Turkey, and unlike in the United States, where news of abductions is ridiculed, in Turkey it is more accepting and believable. The news about Yalman's video went so viral that it got the attention of media houses in Turkey, as well as the government of Turkey. Reports were filed with the Serious UFO and Space Science Research Group, which is Turkey's primary UFO reporting organization, run by Hakan Aktagan. He also interviewed Yalman to discuss several issues regarding the video in more detail.
İhtiyacı duyduk. Bu amaçla buradayız. Yanımda Yalcin Yalman Bey var. Bu çok önemli Kumburgaz görüntülerini kaydeden arkadaşımız. Biliyorsunuz bu görüntüler Kumburgaz'da Haziran, Temmuz, Ağustos ayları içinde ki o dönemde Türkiye genelinde ciddi bir UFO gözlemleri furyası vardı. Aynı döneme denk gelen bir zamanda değişik zaman dilimlerinde kaydedildi ve Yenikent sitesinde bir düzineye yakın insanların şahitliğinde oldu bu hadise. Şimdi sorulardan bir tane.
The link to the full video is in the description. Also, the videos were analyzed by the Scientific and Technology Research Board of Turkey and TUG National Observatory, which are both sponsored by the state and are highly influential. They reviewed the originals with the goal of finding evidence of a forgery to discredit the video, but they found nothing, and instead even gave more credence to the clip by supporting its authenticity. This is a 2-page report of their findings. The original film cassettes have also been studied by people from Japan, Chile, Brazil, and Russia, and they all reached the same conclusion of it being authentic. It was concluded that these objects in sightings with physical and material structures do not belong in any category, such as planes, helicopters, meteors, distant planets, satellites, fireballs, Chinese lanterns, weather balloons, natural or atmospheric phenomena, and whatever else skeptics came up with, and instead fall into the category of UFOs. After several attempts so far, nobody has been able to successfully show evidence of a hoax, fraud, or manipulation, leaving the case still unidentified. Now, at first, everyone was trying to see if the video was real to begin with, so they ran all sorts of tests, stabilized the video, made it clearer, and all sorts of things video editors do. One of the things that was done to the video was to stretch out the pixels by zooming in. Now, mind you, the video naturally is a zoomed-in version, so this was like a zoom on top of a zoom, but that didn't matter to people who just wanted to find the truth. And that's when they saw it. They saw what Yalman didn't even see. While we were preoccupied with seeing a UFO craft, it didn't necessarily occur to us to check if we could see who was driving the ship. And the irony of this all was that it was the skeptics who were out to disprove the video that ended up showing what the occupants of the ship looked like. And yes, it was aliens. Yalman's camera had a zoom setting, allowing him to photograph the occupants of the ship. Yalman didn't even know that he caught a glimpse of the aliens. Now, the image is unsteady, owing to hand motions when zooming. However, with the editing software, the footage was stabilized, and the outcome surprised everyone. The artwork depicted two humanoid beings with big black eyes and oversized skulls. Personally, I don't even know what to think, because mind you, everyone agrees on one thing, and that is whatever is in this video is real. Now, what it could be is open to interpretation, but it is real. So if it is real, then that means the image gotten from the video is real. According to Haktan Akdogan, these are the most significant photographs for Turkey and the world. In his words, these beings are typically seen in resource-rich areas, volcanic locations, and historical sites. They began to appear more regularly following nuclear tests. Perhaps the discharged radiation also hurt our cosmic neighbors, disrupting the universe's balance. Maybe they're observing this dangerous process. And he does have a point. Most reports of UFOs, especially during World War II, were usually around nuclear power plants, resource areas, and sometimes in places frequented by war. It was almost like they were concerned that if they didn't intervene, we as a human race would blow up the world for our selfish gain. There are also reports of nuclear plants being sabotaged. One minute it's working fine. The next, they see a bright orange or red light that's fast, and in less than 5 minutes it's gone. And the next thing they know is that the plants are no longer operational again. In Yalman's video, even though it is played at normal speed, it's difficult to detect what is exposed because the figures move at an exceedingly fast rate, as if the film were being reproduced at high speed. It is only by significantly slowing down the speed of reproduction that they were able to see the figures and their movements could be identified. Even frame-by-frame observation is required. Because of how minute and detailed this is, it's almost impossible that someone could plan a hoax with these features without releasing the most provocative and polemic photos to the public. And mind you, this was before AI was even a word. To create a few images or scenarios like those in these videos, one would require a significant amount of time, money, and expertise in the field of special effects. Now, this does not imply it is impossible, but in 2007 to 2009, a night watchman would find it very expensive to create something like this. Following nearly 9 years of thorough investigation, the Turkish government organization and the Council for Scientific and Technological Research verified that the UFO in the film had no earthly origin or source. The Council's research report also stated that the video was not edited. The thing in the video exists exactly as it did in the original recording. This made many UFO researchers believe these sightings were the most authentic ever documented sightings in human history. But not everyone sees it that way. To critics and skeptics, people who believe this are just being delusional and dumb, and they also provide their own proof of why they think so. And spoiler alert, they are almost right. One major criticism brought up was that what Yalcin saw wasn't a UFO, but a cruise ship. I know you are already confused on how they landed on that notion. This is why. And I have to admit, it is pretty convincing. Cruise ships pass through the Marmara Sea. There is great traffic in the Turkish Straits, of which the Marmara Sea is a central part. So it could be what he saw was most likely a cruise ship at a considerable distance docking. Another theory put up by critics or skeptics is that it could have been an illusion. You see, Fata Morgana is a complex type of superior mirage visible in a narrow region just above the horizon. Fata Morgana mirages dramatically distort the thing or objects upon which they are based, frequently rendering the object utterly unrecognizable. A Fata Morgana can be found on land, at water, in polar climates, or in deserts. It can involve nearly any distant object, such as boats, islands, or the shoreline. These are some images describing Fata Morgana. This one looks like the ship is flying. And fun fact, this could be the basis for the Flying Dutchman myth. So with this, it's possible that what Yalman saw was a good case of Fata Morgana. But the most disturbing thing of it all was, why only him? How was he able to capture months of footage from one location in 3 years? I mean, if he knew that the ship was going to be at a certain spot for months, why not just get a boat and go right under the ship? Why stay miles away to video it? And again, why was it only him? If an alien ship is constantly hovering over the world's busiest sea shipping route, through which literally tens of thousands of ships pass each year, why is only one guy filming on an antiquated video camera? It just doesn't add up. The theory that the images were of a ship at night, possibly distorted by Fata Morgana over the water, is supported by the fact that Yalman was pointing the camera directly at a Mariana several kilometers up the coast. And the case of the aliens popping their heads out of the cockpit could be a perfect case of pareidolia. Pareidolia is the tendency for perception to impose a meaningful interpretation on a nebulous stimulus, usually visual, so that one detects an object, pattern, or meaning where there is none. In simple terms, it just means your brain seeing something out of nothing. It happens to everyone. It has also happened to me. So, according to this factual term, what we consider alien might just be our eyes seeing what we only want to see. The wonderful thing about pareidolia is that, like a meme, it spreads from person to person. If someone tells you there's a face in the visual chaos, you'll notice it right away. But if they said it was Big Bird or Chewbacca the Wookiee, you'd see it as well. It's a suggestion combined with your primate brain's 10 million years of evolution to detect patterns in random things. Which is true. In such, there is a whole website and a dedicated thread on Debunk that does enough damage in debunking Yalman's footage. But are they right? Was it a mirage or a terrible case of pareidolia? The thing is, we don't know. Both skeptics and believers are clueless. Because just as there are logical reasons that kind of debunk the video, there are also logical reasons that debunk the critics. In such, the critics' theories were way more outlandish than the UFO theory. I only told you the plausible ones. On the same Debunk website and other aspects of the internet, self-acclaimed experts said it was a small boat upside down on the beach, a part of a hotel, the inside of a camera lens, a reflection of someone standing in a lit driveway, viewing it in a rectangular convex mirror, a reflection of an illuminated object behind a window, the top half on an image from a security camera monitor or a TV screen showing a feed from a wide-angle camera, hoops resting on a cylindrical object, such as a wooden dowel, a copper or bronze bangle bracelet, a pocket watch, a silver spoon in front of the camera, and a yacht in the Mariana. Like, even all this sounds more outlandish to me than a UFO. And mind you, all these have to be a perfect position for it to be true. If the camera moved in another way, or if the moon was near or far, these images wouldn't show on the camera. And if this was natural, why hasn't someone replicated the same thing to prove to us it's in fact whatever they say it is, or a cruise ship? Now, here is where even the critics' theories also get debunked. There was no cruise ship that was slated for that day Yalman captured the footage. I mean, sure, we can mistake something for a UFO, but I highly doubt we can mistake a ship for a UFO. At least if Yalman could, the port authorities could have called him out on it, or even the locals living close to the beach. But nobody was there, because there was no ship present at the time of the recording. Furthermore, despite widespread media coverage in Turkey at the time, no one has come forward to claim that the objects/boats belonged to them, or they were the ones captured when they were sailing off the shore in the middle of the night. other researchers determined that the triangulation of the UFO in the majority of video cases was too high to be a cruise ship or boat. And this event was my personal favorite. You see, after the footage of unknown objects taken by Yalman was public, a debate between the Skeptical Society and the Turkish UFO community began, just like you will see in the comments section below. Soon thereafter, multiple theories were offered by skeptics, and Yalman was being labeled a hoaxer, despite zero evidence given to suggest he was. These types of disagreements are nothing new in the field of UFOlogy. Finally, both sides appeared on a highly rated national television show in Turkey to try and reach some type of conclusion. On the TV show called The Reporter, the different sides appeared on a round table. The popular show is similar to the Turkish version of Larry King or 60 Minutes. Astronomy lecturer Professor Dr. Adnan Oktem from the TUG Observatory and TUBITAK and Haktan Akdogan, a noted Turkish UFO investigator, deliberated their difference of opinion on national television. Dr. Adan constantly ridiculed Haktan and Yalman, saying what they saw had a logical explanation and was certainly not of alien origin. During the show, Haktan offered Dr. Oktem the opportunity to inspect the cassettes at the National Observatory Image Processing Unit, which is a division of the Science and Technology Research Board of Turkey, where Dr. Oktem worked. The results of their study was the 2-page report I shared earlier, saying the video was real and whatever was in that video was real. The report is also in the description and is translated to English. Again, if this was a hoax, it would have to be a very expensive and extremely intelligent one for it to pass multiple rounds of scrutiny. The Phoenix Lights UFO didn't even last a month, and we got information that it was just a routine military drill. To this day, no one has 100% come out to prove that it was a hoax, and like I said earlier, there are hours upon hours of footage on YouTube about this event, so every excuse critics have about 30 seconds of shaky cam footage is thrown out the window. I mean, we were all alive by God's grace when the United States government admitted to UFO, or as they call it, UAP, and till now, they haven't retracted their statement. And the fact that what Yalman captured typically fits every UFO description says a lot. I didn't do enough justice in showing the clips he captured. If I were to do that, it would make this video longer, and we may risk a copyright strike. That's why I included multiple links in the description where you can watch the whole thing on their channel. And all I will say on the matter is that if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it is certainly not a cruise ship. But what do I know? In the meantime, while you comment on what you're thinking, you can also check out this story that has also not been debunked since its first discussion in the 90s. It's close to a century, and still, no one can prove what happened in a small school in Africa was a lie.